Every day I face these stairs. While many people use them several times a day and don't even think twice about it, which used to be me, on days when I'm at my worst, they seem like a mountain. Each fiber in every one of my muscles has to strain and struggle as I take a step. I must mentally coach myself through the pain and fatigue just by going to school. If I didn't, I'd never get to go to class. I suppose I could try to drive, but finding an easily accessible parking spot on campus isn't exactly easy either. Once a physically able-bodied person, I was beginning to realize how much I took feeling healthy for granted. Since the beginning of this semester, my new normal has revolved around my new level of physical and mental ability. The symptoms I battle include inflammation, extreme fatigue, shortness of breath, numbness in fingers and toes, and dizziness, all from an unknown source. I knew it was dangerous to push my body too far, and I knew that if I wasn't careful, my body would stop doing what I needed it to do. Conservation of energy became a main focus in my life. Because of this, I started to take elevators when I had to go up several floors. While waiting for the elevator, I began to see people looking at me. To me, it feels like they are judging me as being lazy and fat for not taking the stairs. Because my disabilities are not usually readily visible, I often feel a lot of shame for using the elevator. I think this is part of the reason I connected so much with Shane Bentley's The Silencing Invisibility Cloak. While I look heterosexual, neurotypical, and able-bodied most of the time, it simply doesn't reflect my reality. However, since humans are social beings, we've been conditioned to believe that the perception of others is everything in maintaining status. And since status means safety, oftentimes it feels like I have no choice but to hide underneath my invisibility cloak. While I've had my fair share of dealing with feeling othered by my mental health disability, this experience of feeling shame for utilizing accommodations such as an elevator is totally new. Towards the end of the semester, I discovered that I also had several food sensitivities such as gluten and eggs that are suspected to be a major source of the inflammation I was experiencing. This meant that I had to do a total 180 on my eating habits. Since just about every college kid food staple contains gluten or eggs, my routine of grabbing breakfast from the vending machine on the way to class could no longer continue. Up until it was taken away from me, I had no idea that the convenience of eating my breakfast out of a vending machine was an example of privilege. I now have to spend extra time in the morning prepping food to take with me for the day. This, along with my slowed, fatigued, anxious, and depressed states, all contribute to my crib time. While I admit that it can be frustrating to have to spend extra time that I'm not used to taking care of my body, it has forced me to slow down and really evaluate what is important to me in life. I'm thankful that I've had the privilege to take this class this past semester because I believe that it has really helped me to view my experience through a more open and clear lens. I believe that every unit has profoundly challenged the way I see the world and the way I see people. Studying queer theory and dabbling in crip theory served to illuminate my privilege in my life that I was unaware before. I was pleasantly surprised by the crip theory unit because so many of the narratives depicted experiences so similar to mine. This unit, along with several of the other units, also addressed the power of identity and how it can be used to deconstruct societal ideologies. Over the course of the semester, I have adopted both the term queer and the term crip as being ways that I identify myself. Both terms are liberating, politically charged, and have elements of solidarity and support built into their communities. Neither group is defined by society's normal and strive to foster acceptance and realness. These terms also allow for fluidity and adaptability over the course of a person's life. Overall, the adoption of these identities has alleviated the pressure for me to conform to preset roles and thus has helped me to diminish the shame associated with the anxiety of fitting in. One core belief that I share with crip theory and queer theory is that all people should be free to live authentically and to be accepted for who they are. I believe that if I can live authentically, maybe others can be brave enough to try it too.